Here's a connection that might not be immediately obvious. Your gut bacteria can influence NAD+ metabolism in multiple ways, and this has implications for brain health that we're only beginning to understand. The gut-brain axis has become one of the hottest topics in neuroscience, and NAD+ represents one of several metabolic links between what's happening in your intestines and what's happening in your brain. First, let's talk about absorption and synthesis. Your gut bacteria help break down certain foods and produce metabolites that can affect NAD+ production. Some bacterial species can actually synthesize B vitamins, including forms of vitamin B3, which your body can then absorb and use for NAD+ production. The composition of your gut microbiome therefore potentially influences how much NAD+ precursor you're getting from your diet. A healthy, diverse microbiome might enhance NAD+ precursor availability, while gut dysbiosis might limit it. Second, gut bacteria influence inflammation systemically. We've talked extensively about how inflammation drains NAD+. Well, your gut is one of the major sources of inflammatory signals in your body. If you have gut dysbiosis, increased intestinal permeability, often called leaky gut, or chronic low-grade gut inflammation, this can drive systemic inflammation that activates NAD+, consuming enzymes throughout your body, including in your brain. Third, gut bacteria metabolize polyphenol from plant foods into smaller compounds that may be more bioactive and bioavailable than the original plant compounds. Some of these bacterial metabolites can enter circulation, cross the blood-brain barrier, and potentially affect brain metabolism, including processes related to NAD+. Your ability to benefit from polyphenol-rich foods may depend partly on whether you have the right gut bacteria to metabolize them effectively. There's also fascinating research on tryptophan metabolism. Remember that tryptophan is a precursor for NAD+ production through the de novo pathway. But tryptophan is also metabolized by gut bacteria into various compounds, some beneficial and some potentially harmful. When the gut environment is dysbiotic, more tryptophan may be shunted into inflammatory pathways rather than being available for NAD+ synthesis. This means gut health could directly influence how much NAD+ your body can make from dietary protein. So what supports a healthy gut microbiome? Fiber is probably the most important dietary factor. Gut bacteria feed on fiber, and a fiber-rich diet promotes the growth of beneficial bacterial species while increasing the production of short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which have anti-inflammatory effects. Foods particularly good for gut health include a wide variety of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and kimchi can also contribute beneficial bacteria. But here's where we need to be cautious. The microbiome field is still relatively young, and our understanding of which specific bacterial species are most important for brain health and NAD+ metabolism is incomplete. There's enormous individual variation in microbiome composition, and what works for one person might not work for another. Probiotic supplements, for example, have shown mixed results in research, and which strains are most beneficial remains unclear. There's also the chicken and egg problem. Does poor gut health lead to NAD+ depletion and brain dysfunction? Or does metabolic dysfunction and inflammation that drains NAD+ also damage the gut? It's probably bidirectional. Alzheimer's disease is associated with alterations in gut microbiome composition, but whether these changes are cause or consequence remains debated. Another consideration is that severe gut problems, such as inflammatory bowel disease or celiac disease, definitely impair nutrient absorption and can lead to deficiencies in NAD+ precursors like niacin and tryptophan. So maintaining basic gut health through avoiding foods that trigger inflammation in susceptible individuals is important for ensuring adequate nutrient absorption. The practical message is that gut health and brain health are connected through multiple pathways, including NAD+ metabolism. A diet that supports a healthy microbiome, emphasizing fiber, fermented foods, and diverse plant foods while limiting highly processed foods and excessive sugar, probably supports healthier NAD+ metabolism indirectly. But we should be skeptical of oversimplified claims about specific probiotic strains or gut health interventions reversing cognitive decline. The connections are real but complex, and much remains to be learned about how to optimize the gut-brain NAD+ axis through diet.